All right, all right, all right. All right, let's get it, everybody. So today's call is going to be all about the power of cryptocurrency, how you can utilize it, even if you're brand new and never even done anything with crypto, or you maybe even scared pajeebers with it, and how to cut that overwhelm, cut the learning curve, and make it as simple as possible. As well, we'll be giving some of our hidden gems. We'll be giving some of our nuggets on how you can really take advantage of these markets over the next several months, over the next with this bull run that we have live currently, and really take advantage of the timing that we have right now and the resources that we have around us. So we are very blessed with this series, guys. This is all about you guys out there who are watching this call, right? This is for the newest person. This is for somebody that's never seen any of this before. And we came together to create this to show people how to create multiple streams of income online. You know, over these 5 days, we've been giving out 4 different ways of how you can do so. And you could take literally action on just one of them and go out and get results. You know, the goal here is that we can give you enough nuggets that if you just go out and apply it, you can see a return within the next 30 days. So all it is, it's about systems. All it is about following the process. All it is about community. And we have all of that here inside of the Freedom Finders, inside of us to give back to you guys. And we understand as well, the more that you give, the more you shall receive. It's just a law of the universe. And here we are giving it all right up front. So now let's dive into the topic of today. It is simply talking about the power of cryptocurrencies. And you're going to hear from one of my special guests here, Jeff. And we're going to be sharing some value and, maybe let's have some fun, right? And want to create this as interactive as possible. So of course, attention as always, right? Take some notes, write things down. If you ever have any questions, bring it to our attention at the end of the call, write it in the chats, whatever, reach out to us personally, and we'll help you find that answer, right? And we're here to collaborate first. So on top of that, like I said, pay attention, but let's dive right into it. So first things first is, understanding cryptocurrencies as a whole, right? We understand that, crypto has been around for a very, very long time. We've seen it go up. We've seen it go down. It can be very volatile. People have lost a lot of money. People have also made a lot of money, right? We all wish that we bought Bitcoin when it was just a penny, right? We all wish that we got into the market maybe, few days ago or whatever, right? And some things that stop us is just the lack of education and the lack of just doing it, as frank as that, right? So which is a huge ordeal. But guys, we got to understand that right now in the timing of these markets is we have one of the biggest possibilities for our future, to create even generational wealth with what we have, right? And the timing cannot be more impeccable, where we're seeing big money starting to come into the markets, right? And we have a position as being a small guy for the first time ever to position ourselves before the big guys. And it's not too late to get involved. It's not too late to get educated. It's not too late to learn. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter who you are, what your race is, nothing. None of it matters, but you can start today and start participating, even with $50. Right? That's the beauty of it, or even a coffee a day, right? Instead of getting that Starbucks, why not throw that into a crypto every single day? What would that turn into in a year from now? You might be surprised. So guys, I want to share a very great story, and I want to ask Jeff a couple questions. He's on the call here. So a little backstory is Jeff here, me and him, we connected randomly on Facebook. I think it was in September of last year. I don't know how he got on my Facebook, like maybe some of you guys watching this, and we became friends, right? And now we became family members. But before that, Jeff is a man of God. He's somebody that, he's worked very hard in his life. He had some, good times and bad times, as everyone does, right? He's down in Washington State, and he's worked really hard. He was before meeting me, he was working at a box plant for 12 years of his life, manufacturing boxes inside of a 9 to 5, right? And he had no clue how to get out, right? And but he had a desire to, right? He was willing to make a shift. He was willing to make a change to do so, right? Prior to meeting him, he just invested like, $7,000 into some other course to learn about trading, because he saw trading as a vehicle. As I know, a lot of people see it as a way that you can get out, right? A way to make more money and make your money work for you, as everybody should be trading, or at least investing their money, right? Making it work for them, right? So he was like, I'm going to get educated. I'm going to go learn, right? And he did exactly that. He took those first steps, which is the hardest, right? But when he met me, he realized that, some things were missing, the community side of things, the environment for him to win, right? And having that support, having that little bit of that hand holding where, we can work together. Why not everybody win? So he saw what we're up to and he's like, you know what? No, I trust you, Trev. I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens and what's the worst case scenario, right? And he got started, right? And, his first little couple months, he had to get some things straight. He had to get his mind right. He had to plug in, right? And he had to shift and change. He made some mistakes, right? He wasn't super coachable. He was trying to find his own way. And then he got hooked into the power of cryptocurrencies. He found the one thing that he really enjoyed, that he really loved, and he just dove head first. And guys, this has completely changed his life. He's not ever going to go back to a box plant, that's for sure. Right, Jeff?
Yeah.
So it's really amazing. And it's something that you're also passing off to your son, which I love seeing. And, this is something that's still going to transform into so much bigger. And now your goals have expanded. You're also a big servant leader inside of our community, right? Our goal inside of Freedom Finders is everybody to have a crypto portfolio, whether you want to deal with crypto or learn about it at all. Maybe you don't even want to learn about it, right? But we want to help everybody create that wealth, or at least put some, allocation into these assets, right? Or maybe dividend paying cryptos. So that way we're still creating multiple streams of wealth, right? And Jeff's our go-to man because he has spent the time, he's studied, and he's also created the results. Because it's one thing you can learn and then teach, right? But that's not how things work, right? You got to learn, do, and teach. And Jeff's a prime example of exactly that. So, Jeff, I want to share some time with you and, just share some stories of I have a couple of questions I've already prepared for you, but I'd like you to share, very quickly, a little bit more of that story, any key points that people need to understand of your come up story, and sort of I want to hear your words of what this has done for you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Everybody, shoot, the reason I joined this was because I believed in the person that I was talking to, which is Trevor. And that is why I'm here, bottom line. I mean, and basically what I did, guys, was I burned all my ships. There was a cool story. It was 1519 Hernan Cortez. He sailed from Spain to Azteca, and they were vastly outnumbered. And he sent his men, as they landed ashore, he told some of his men to go back and burn the ships. And he came back to his men and said, hey, look, guys, we have no source of retreat. So now we have to win. So that's basically a metaphor as to what I used for walking off my job, so that I wouldn't have that source of retreat. Now, I don't recommend you do it that way, because you're going to go through a lot of hard things in life that, I was listening to a motivational by Steve Harvey, which basically, he quit his job and he wound up homeless for 3 years to obtain his dream, his goal, his why. And so, I'm not necessarily telling everybody to go walk off their jobs, but I will ask you this. I'll say, how bad do you want this? Will you, what are you willing to do to obtain your dream, your goal, that freedom and time, which we all want? Do you want every day to be Saturday, Sunday? Do you want every day to be like a weekend? because I'm telling you, I wake up and I don't know what day it is sometimes. I'm just like, let's go, let's I'm excited. I'm in this constant state of gratitude where, I have to thank God that I got out of bed, so he's not done with me. So obviously I've got something to do, and I was able to establish a crypto portfolio and dive deep into crypto, and that's really helped me out to self-sustain, and I did take profits on the way up, and that's helped me a lot. And in the beginning, guys, just being hard-headed and wanting to do things my way, I did blow a couple of accounts, and I could have thrown in the towel and said, oh well, there goes 3,500. What are you going to do in that moment? Because anybody that does anything great, they're going to go to the gym, New Year's resolution. The multitudes are just going to quit. They're going to give up and leave. Anything, golfing, any sporting event, anything you could think of that is hard. And if it's hard, then do it hard, right? So that's basically where we're at. It's just it's a no-brainer. Now I know where I'm going and inevitably what the results are going to be. I don't have to see it with my eyes. I know it because I believe to see. I don't see to believe. And so I just leave you guys with that pretty much. And yeah, if you have any other questions, Trevor.
Yeah, yeah, I do. So Jeff, when you first got started, right, you were in the side of like, what, I'm gonna start learning how to trade Forex, and you're learning a bit about, catching pips and all that side of things. And then you're like diving into other areas, marketing, all this stuff. What was that like? What made you made that decision like all of a suddenly where you're like, you know what, you found something? Like when was that like real that breakthrough moment where you're like, yo, I found the way and I'm gonna go all in on this? Like what was that decision? Like tell me about the timeline, when that was, and share that story. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So when I started, when it clicked for me, before it clicked for me, it was basically just like everybody else here that just started. If you're just starting, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like it's a lot. I didn't know anything about computers, guys.
Mhm. Yep.
September 4th. Trevor knows, it was ridiculous. It was like, how do I push this butt to the, like how do you do this? I didn't know. And so meanwhile, I had enrolled in college for electrical engineering. And so basically I was going to college and I was taking computer classes so that I can be the person that I am today as far as, navigating a computer. And that's helped me tremendously. Did I stay in school? No, I didn't need to stay in school. I was basically taking on too many things at one time, and I had a choice to make. Was I going to be? I like to call it. This might sound a little arrogant, but that's okay. It it's actually just confidence, guys. But it's I look at, if I go to school, I'm basically I'm employment smart, right? Or I'm basically I am what is the word? Anyways, that slipped my mind. But that being said, it's we'll forget about that. But anyways, well, what happened to me was that, getting into crypto and being stuck in school, going to college, realizing that I'm just going to be an employee just at a higher level, still punching in the time clock down the street at Microsoft, going in and yeah, I'm making more money. But at the end of the day, my time is being consumed. This is why we do this, guys. Freedom and time. That's why I posted that thing in our chat, the 12 steps to getting rich. And in the 12th step, that is the last one that talks about money. And all the steps, it's the very last one that speaks about money. And so what happened for me was, I was at a crossroads. Do I stay in school or do I leave and pursue extreme greatness? And I chose the harder path. School's simple. You know, you have your teachers, you have, you know, you're going to get through it. They have so many programs, Trio, all kinds of stuff to help you get through it if you're struggling. Um, this is harder. I'll tell you that hands down, but it doesn't cost as much. And so think about that for a second. Let that sink in. So I basically dove in and head first, and then I started to have a little bit of clarity. I was able to get off of medication, and I went through a lot of depression that way. You know, it was very very dark, very you know, it sucked. And I was able to push through that though, because I knew what was on the other side. I know what's on the other side. And so I was able to get through this, guys. And, you know, I tell you this because it clicked for me when I started, when I had money in my savings account or in my bank account that I pulled out my 401k just to self sustain. And as I'm watching it dwindle, you know, blowing an account, right? That hurts. You know, not everybody has the mindset. And that's why we focus on this mindset stuff so that we're not so fixated on the problem right in front of us. We could see past that, you know, it's just something to be solved, something to be, you know, yeah, something to be, something to accomplish. You know, you crush right through that and it's like, next, let's go. And so, you know, I just tell you this, guys, because you're going to be at a crossroad in your life where you're going to have to make a decision between the friends you hang out with, the choices that you make in life, and whether you want that to please everybody or whether you want greatness, because you're going to have some enemies when you do this. I promise you that. You are going to have your own family members that will be against you, and that's not everybody, but some will have that, and they'll think you're arrogant. They'll think that you know, and always keep in mind that the insecure people will always view confident people as arrogant. I tell you this because I was insecure and I used to be that person. I don't tell you this because I think I'm better or anything like that. I've just established a lot of confidence in my life because of the mindset and because of the Holy Spirit. And that's basically where I'm at. You know, I'm just, you know, just grateful to be here and be able to speak to you guys and help you as best I can and bring you guys value now because I plugged in and, you know, got into this crypto space and studied day in, day out. Um, yeah, it was a lot of studying, a lot of videos, watching them over and over and over again. And
So,
so that's
so Jeff,
basically,
timeline wise, when you started, you know, when that breakthrough happened and you started diving into crypto, was that like in December, January? Uh,
that was actually in December. That
in
was when I
December.
broke away from school. And so I made the decision to leave school. And that's when it clicked for me. So that was basically, yeah, about 5 months or so, you know, before it
Then, then
really
I know
started
you
making
got
an
most
impact.
of your knowledge and education through Curtis Cobain, right?
Yeah.
And when did you come across his videos?
I came across his videos and I kind of thought, you know, I was watching Crypto Picasso and Nick Gomez, and I didn't really pay him any mind, you know, the altcoin guy, right? You're like, "Ah, I don't want to know about altcoins. I want to know about Bitcoin." But that's just the mindset that, you know, just not knowing anything, right? And you just go with what you know, I guess. And so so basically that's what happened to me is I finally clicked on one of his videos, and from the first one I watched, that was it. I was hooked, you know. And that's how Curtis is, you know. He makes it fun and entertaining for everybody, and because he wants it to be a you know, kind of an exciting, fun, educational moment. And so I learned a lot from him as far as you know, teaching and stuff like that. You know, that's probably more of a style that I'm going to bring to the table as far as teaching is, you know, there's going to be a lot of humor in it because I grew up with back in the 80s and 90s with you know, bag on your mom jokes and stuff like that. That's just how I grew up, you know. So I'm like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like duck feathers, right? We just, but we have fun with it. And so I'm not going to be bagging on anybody's mom. I promise you that. I don't want anybody coming after me for nothing, because I love you all. And I'm just telling you the era that I grew up in, though. But yeah.
No, dude, I really love that. So, you know, Curtis Cobain is a great educator, right? And he's somebody that's, a lot of the other team members and our members tune into on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, to really just plug in, soak in the sauce, and then take action, right? So, um, phenomenal guy, that's for sure. So, and of course, creating the session so it's fun, it's engaging, it's entertaining, where it's not just like, oh wow, I'm just listening to a person talk about crypto for an hour, this is kind of boring, blah blah blah, let me look at something else, right? So I really love that it's like hooked you in and made you able to show up over and over again. Now, one big thing, I want to like really touch base on this point, because I know there's some people who need to hear this, because one of the biggest things I see out there is people have so many good ideas, right? They get plugged into so much personal development, growth, or maybe they take many courses. They're part of an online business, right? But they've been doing like this for maybe it's been years, right? Or maybe they're still new, right? And in the beginning stages. But I see it on both sides, beginner or you know long term, right? But what it was this moment of like, I think the biggest thing for people is like, you just got to go and do it, right? You can go and watch all the videos as possible. You can show up to every single call, right? But if you don't do anything with what you're learning, you're never going to get that result that you're after, right? So I think for some of the newest people and the people that are listening in our audience, what was that factor where, you just stopped being like, okay, I'm going to stop like just thinking about it, and I'm just going to go out and go do it, right? Curtis says, hey, go buy this coin, and you literally go and figure out how to buy the coin, and you just go make it happen, right? And one of the ways that we've been helping, the newest person just go out and do it is we almost do it for them, right? But what was that moment of like, you know what? I trust the process, and I'm just going to go do. And what sort of advice can you give to the newest person on, moving from the learning to the doing factor?
All right, guys. Basically, that's funny, man. You say that like, yeah, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. But yeah, basically something that they do not tell you in entrepreneurship and being an IBO, the number one thing that I think cripples people the most is and it's simple, we've all heard it, self-discipline. When you have a job, you have a boss that's going to hand you a paycheck, it's going to show up in your account. They're going to tell you what you need to do. They're going to tell you what time to go eat. They're going to tell you, all these things, what time to take break. But when you are an entrepreneur, if you don't have that self-discipline, and I'll tell you where I found it at. I found it in a lot of Les Brown videos, Dr. Miles Monroe, John Maxwell. There's a lot of inspirational people that talk about this, and they've been through hardship. I mean, Les Brown was labeled educably mentally retarded. So I mean, look at this guy. I mean, now he makes he makes more money than most people. And so, just speaking to corporations and things, so he had to exercise that self-discipline. And that's a lot of us, we don't realize that. A lot of times we procrastinate, and we'll do a million things and we don't get one of them done. We're always putting the hardest thing to the back burner, but we think we're busy because we keep moving and we keep doing stuff. And so that's basically what it is, guys, is having that self-discipline. I know that can be so difficult at times, but it's actually something that they do not speak about in entrepreneurship. They should speak about it more, because I think that's the number one crippling factor for most people is, you don't have somebody telling you what to do. You don't have, you know, while Trevor's leading us, He's not going to sit there and hit me upside the head and say, "Hey, wake up, Jeff, wake up." He's not going to be able to do that. And that's where it comes to us to be self-disciplined, to be able to want to do for ourselves. I think of like Anchorman. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Anchorman 2, but he basically talks about basically says you got to do for yourself, Ron. Anyways, if anybody gets that. But yeah, it's just you got to do for yourself. And so that's that's that's
So
number
the
one.
advice for the newest person to just like, because we literally give a whole blueprint, right? We roadmap for like the newest person who doesn't know anything about cryptos of like, hey, your step one, do this, step two, do that, right? And you can get it done within your first week, right? Being plugged in, right? But what is that like one word of advice that you can give to somebody to be like, like stop thinking and just do?
Well, you just said it, that's basically it. You've got to dive in and you've got to burn all your ships. Use that, what I just told you about Hernan Cortez and burning all your ships, because you could sit there and basically, well, what if, I mean, what if the sky falls, what if anything can happen, but what are you going to make happen for yourself? And that's the most important thing, is developing that confidence to be able to push that button, to be able to make that happen for you. You're never going to know unless you dive in head first. Just dive in, just jump, take the leap of faith, because you're going to need grace. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so I think one of the big ones here too is um now talking about like, why would we use an academy, right? Why would we follow, the pros? Because, all the information that we learn and to become pro in the crypto space, you can find it on YouTube, you can find it on Google, right? You can find all that information out there. It's completely for free, right? One thing I love is just being able to at least have a community, having structure, and then also a place where we cut that learning curve completely in half, right? And so what is your reason why having this academy that we haven't really shown very much of yet? Why is it so important for you to still be plugged in with the community and even with what today and stuff like that? Why is that important?
So I'll tell you what I've learned as far as being plugged in and to a team, to a team of like-minded people. You can't put a price tag on that. I'll tell you that first and foremost. Also, if you want to go at it alone, you can learn this alone. Oh yeah, you can. But you're going to learn a lot more expensive lessons along the way. Um, I will tell you this, that the big banks, major banks, are filling YouTube and the internet with false information on how to trade. And so, who do you know who to go to? There's so much misinformation out there, and these banks know it, and they want you to fail. They don't want you to get rich. If everybody was a millionaire, then where would the working force be, right? So you got to keep that in mind. They don't want, they want to keep us right where they have us. And so that's what's special about this, is we have people that they've been through it, they made the mistakes. I think learning those mistakes, I don't basically say that's for everybody, but yeah, I do recommend you go blow an account. It's a good teacher. It is. It's a great teacher. That's going to tell you who you really are after you do that. Are you going to stick it out, or are you just going to fold, like a deck of cards, and just run the other way? Go back to that safe place, that safe job, that 9 to 5. Is that what you want? Because that's not what I want. I'll tell you that right now. And so, yeah, that's basically it, man.
Yeah, I've had many friends who've, said exactly that. You know what? I'm gonna go try to do it on my own and I'll go figure out all the things, right? And I'll come back to you if I need more, right? And they don't actually come back because now they've gotten so scared out of it, or they've lost, extensive amounts of money that they came and afford to come back, right?
Yeah.
They can't even have that conversation because now they're, way over it, right? We also have people who, who plug in, right? But then they show up for the first 4 weeks, maybe, or the first 6 weeks, and then they stop plugging in. They stop showing up. They don't come to the psychology calls. They don't come to our team calls, right? And then they slowly dwindle out because, they didn't have that self-discipline to continually show up, or they lost their big desire, right? They lost their reason why. And, and then they eventually fade out. And what happened to your goals? What happened to the reason why you want to do this to begin with, right? It's a crazy loop that we like to go through. But either way, I think some people want to like learn a little bit about like crypto and like what could be their first tangible steps of like, what they should look at, where they can find the right information, maybe what projects you like first get, some like really like value and actionable first steps. Like, for anyone that gets plugged in with the Freedom Finders, our first step here is like, I'll share my screen really quick. Our first step here is, we want to get you plugged in with the people, right? We want to get you plugged in with Curtis Cobain, show up to his classes that he does, 4 times a week, right? We want you to get into his favorite sessions, right? Where he goes priority number 1, priority number 2, right? Crypto security is first things first, right? You might go start all your exchanges and stuff like that, but you might not have the proper emails, right? And if you don't have that all set up, what happens when the hackers come in, right? Do you have actually own the private keys, or are you trading on Robinhood, right? I know a lot of people out there trading on Robinhood. Do you know it stands for Robin the Hood? Like,
Yep.
like literally, they don't own any crypto, right? And then as well, priority number 2, get some of the baselines in there. But what we do exclusively for our team, because we understand that you're brand new, you're not supposed to know everything, right? What we do is, we get you on with Jeff, we get you on with myself, and we help you go through the list of coins. You see how there's list, right? And we just go ahead and go make it happen, right? You need to learn everything first. I truly believe it's, this process is even more so, it's about doing and then learning. And then, this is an earn while you learn process, but I almost think it's earn and then learn as well, so we really want to help, just get it done, right? Because we understand that people want results. People come in here to make money, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do it in a very safe manner to make it a reality. So we go ahead and do that. Like, that's personally us. But Jeff, if you don't mind, like, I don't know if you have any, nuggets to share via like, you sharing your screen, looking at a chart, or anything that you can add into the marketplace. Before doing so, I want you to just, literally less than a minute is share, like, because, you've been helping a lot of the newest customers, get their portfolio set up, right? You hop on Zoom calls and you over deliver where there's zero benefit for you to do so. And you've literally helped them go buy their first cryptos, get over that hump of being scared of, what exactly to do. And you stuck with them, even if it spent 2 hours because they're having technical problems, right? You're still there pretty much holding their hand, sometimes frustrated. But what was some of the feedback? Like, of course, not talking about numbers or profits or anything like that, but what's some of the feedback of like gratitude that, some of these people that you've helped? Like, can you just quickly share in 1 minute of like, the feedback and how that makes, that person feel?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's everybody's been, pretty much eternally grateful, which in turn makes me feel awesome because, I love that I'm able to help people out. Um, you know, I basically will tell you this is that, a lot of us have 401ks, right? We go to a job and we have some kind of savings plan, whatever. And we're sitting on cash cows and we don't even realize it, you know, cash it out, take the penalty, whatever. Cause if you can 10X that 401k, then guess what? You just put your money to work. You didn't have to go work for it. You just went and told your money, hey, go work for me. And so basically, I will tell you that, helping people out has been, it's amazing. It makes you feel better about yourself. And, and at the end of the day, you need to focus on yourself. And if you're not good up here, then you're not any good to anybody else, let alone yourself. Right. So, that being said, anybody, here that needs help, and they need to develop a crypto portfolio, and it doesn't matter what it is, how much money you got. If you have $50 to throw in on Bitcoin, that's fine. Just get some skin in the game, as Curtis says. Um, you know, get started. You don't have to have, what is the price of Bitcoin now? 35,000, I think, somewhere around there. Uh, you don't have to have 35,000. You get little portions of it called Satoshis. And so you just dollar cost average in, and you're going to get the bag at the end of the rainbow, right? So basically, that being said, though, um, you know, and I am willing to help you. We can get on a Zoom, anything like that, and I could sit there and tell you what buttons to push. And I'll tell you why I started helping people like this is because when I got into this, I didn't know what I was doing. It was very scary. I didn't know if I was going to push the wrong button and my money was going to fly into the ether, you know, and be on planet Ethereum somewhere. You just don't know. And so basically, I had to overcome that fear. I had a great friend of mine. He's actually in the program. He's in Mexico right now, and Moses. And so he basically helped me, and he was a kid that I used to drive on the church shuttle bus. I used to go pick him up, and we'd pick up, less than fortunate children and bring him to the church. And so now he's a big boy, and he's helping me. He can build his own computer. Kid didn't go to college. I swear all his brothers are gifted this way, and so they're just really super bright. But yeah, that's basically what helping others has done for me. It's brought a sense of purpose into my life, and I recommend it for the rest of you. You could do this and keep it to yourself, but I do recommend you work on your mindset first. But I dare you just to do this and see some results, and then try to keep it to yourself. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be like
There's a reason
Vector.
why we do things, right? And it's, and a big reason why is, is to give back, make a difference in the world, and leave behind a legacy. All right. So, and it's just the law of the universe. Like I said before, the more you give, the more you'll receive, or the more you can help others get what they want, you'll get what you want. Right. So it's a complete rebound. So I know you're really good at, keeping it under a minute, but but fantastic. So Jeff, you know, before we wrap up the call here, is there anything that you want to share in terms of like, like a teaching side of things of like what's happening in the crypto markets today? Sort of like, sharing any information on that side, like, or where you get your information from, like you want to share your screen or anything like that? Is there anything that you want to share on that side of things of how you can provide some value into this audience?
Well, yeah, I'll leave one thing with you guys, and it'll be quick. And basically, it's what the SEC dropped on June 21st is basically the SEC made it so that all big institutions, all the major institutions have to report to them in a timely manner every time they decide to short a stock. That includes crypto. That's crypto included. So basically, every time they short a stock, they have to be able to report to the SEC. They have to be able to prove that they have that money on the books. And so that's basically what we call a short squeeze. And that means all this manipulation that we've been dealing with, because they're trying to drive price down, so that they can purchase it all back up at the lowest possible price. But that dropped on the 21st this month. So we don't have anything to worry about. It's over. The manipulation's over. And it's funny that when it dropped on the 21st, the market took that turn to come back up. So it's recovering. I think we're, of course, they'll say we're not out of the woods yet, but I think that we are indeed out of the woods, and we're headed to greener pastures. But also know that EIP 1559, which is it's basically put in place to eliminate the gas fees from the Ethereum network, and 80% of all the tokens come from the Ethereum network itself. So that's huge, guys. That's basically dropping July 14th. So, I mean, everything is lining up perfectly for this bull run and this next leg. We're hitting the second wave, and I think that's where we're starting off right now, and that's why we're moving up. It's going to be a slow, methodical, kind of a boring run up, and that's what I hear from Curtis. That's what he said in the class yesterday. And so, it'll be that way, and then by about mid-July, the end of July, it's just going to be fireworks. Kind of like a metaphor for the 4th of July. So we're going to have fireworks, guys, and I just want you guys to be excited about that and understand that this is the first thing that we will be involved in, the first market that we are going to be put in, that we get a chance to invest in before all the major institutions and big banks are able to invest, because the SEC also gave them authority to invest publicly starting July. So that's huge. That sure, they can go and invest, individuals can go invest privately, which they have done, and they've been manipulating the markets. But this is huge that they get to invest publicly, and we get a chance to be what you would call angel investors. So that's just they'll there's never been a bull run like this, and there will never be one like this after this one's over. So that is just huge, guys.
Well, I don't know if you see the comments by Gino here in the chat, but Jeff can help you with that. He's helped his buddy Romero on here as well.
Oh yeah.
That stuff set up and all that jazz. So you guys can talk in private. And then about there's a quick question in the chat. Simply put, like, oh wow, this is lame. You notice Bitcoin's rebound's been a little bit stronger than Ethereum rebound, right? So this is Ethereum right now. We're on a 1 hour chart. And we see that, we broke this structure of this high here, and then we created a lower or a higher low. And now we haven't broke and created a higher high yet on here, right? But of course, on Bitcoin, this is what you're looking at was, well, it's recovering a little bit differently, right? Where we've already seen it kind of punch out, break of structure here, created a higher low, and then it's already creating a higher high, right? So, in terms of like thoughts on that, I think it's completely normal at the end of the day, because, they don't correlate specifically, like they're not perfect working hand in hand together, right? Of course, they follow very similar, like, you can see on the chart, right? So it goes in similar ways. But, when Ethereum was pushing, what was it, a couple months ago, Bitcoin was just chilling too. So they don't necessarily correlate. So I think we're still in very good positioning for both Ethereum, Bitcoin, and stuff like that. So we're looking at some good levels here. So that's my personal thought on it. Of course, you can dive deeper on more and more on it. Right now, what I'm looking at, personally in the market standpoint, we entered a trade right here off of Swipe Coin, Nick Gomez trade. I was being a little picky. I only entered a third of my position on that trade. I wanted to get an entry right here, but it didn't quite make it to that zone, so I didn't get the full entry, but we took some profits at 2,000. So that was a good trade right there. On leverage too, which is powerful, because you're not just like, waiting for the whole pricing. So one thing I really want to quickly touch, and then we're, less than 5 minutes and we're out of here because we got another call to go on and all that stuff. So got to get some dinner in us too. So appreciate everyone's attention. But basically, hey, you're brand new, you're just getting started. What are the first exact steps? What's the value proposition of what we have here to offer, right? You've already heard the community, you've heard about, Jeff's story, which is fascinating. He's not the only person here that has created, a story, right? Who's created massive amounts of success and even, accumulating wealth, right? We have many, many students and many other stories to come from. But, the big thing is it's like, well, hey, I'm brand new. I want to get into cryptos. I just don't know where to go, right? And maybe you tried some things, maybe you've been burned. First thing when I got started in cryptos, which was back in 2017, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just buying all the cryptos I could imagine. And I was just throwing money at the market, wishing for the best. And honestly, it burned me, right? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't educated. I wasn't plugged in. I was just buying because I felt like I was going to become rich. And that happens to a lot of people. And that's, how most people are going to happen in these markets. It's just a reality, right? Think of all the people that bought these shit coins who are now like, wow, I'm down like 70, 80, 90% right now. And what's going on right now? Will I get that back? Right? It's a tough deal, right? So, the biggest thing is just getting plugged in and getting educated, right? So, you heard about the community. Next is the education standpoint, right? So, like we said, once you get started inside of Freedom Finders, a part of Freedom Finders is you get access to I'm Academy, and you get access to, of course, this education platform, right? We showed you, the favorite sessions where you come in and you plug in, you listen to one of these experts, right? Who will break down about NFTs, we'll break down about Cardano, right? And we'll keep you up to date with all the latest information as he goes live all the time, right? You see on here, we get hundreds and hundreds of educators with tens and tens of thousands of views every single week, right? But more specifically, today's topic is just about cryptos, right? These are our crypto educators, right? And you see there's time frames that work for anybody. And what's nice as well is if you can't make the certain time, at least you can come in and watch the replay. Like, Jeff was talking about last night's session. He was talking about that SEC bill and all that stuff, right? I wasn't there live, but late last night, I skimmed through the replay, kind of got those nuggets for myself so I could understand, okay, well, this is what's happening in the market. So I can be prepared for the rest of the week, right? So you can come in and you can come tune into some of these professionals and they'll show you exactly what's up. The next thing as well for the newest person is you want to go into myswipecoin.im and you want to log in here. You'll log in with your username and your account. And inside of here, I gotta be careful not to show too many things, but inside of here, there's actually fast start videos. So you're gonna come in first things here. There's a fast start section to show you how to utilize the app, how to place your trade, finding the right things, practicing risk management, because that's huge, right? So you're going to come in and learn that first, right? So there's a video section. Next is, of course, we get these ideas called out all the time while we're on the go, while we're, doing the thing, while we're, out grocery shopping or whatever, spending time with family. You'll get a notification on your phone and be like, this was yesterday. Hey guys, get into Ethereum, right? And I placed that trade. And while I was sleeping, and when I woke up in the morning, I woke up with a nice, pleasant surprise with some additional money in my account, right? Because it hit the take profit mark. And all I had to do, I had to just take the entry point, take them a stop loss, calculate my proper risk management so I was never over leveraging, and just push the button, right? It comes out like that. As well as we have exchange ideas in here, right? Where Curtis Cobain just shared an idea recently about, hey guys, here's a level to buy some more Uniswap, right? And you can come in here and you can find that level and go ahead and do so, right? And he shares this all here. as well. He keeps us up to date. They all keep us up to date with chat. So we're always plugged in with the top of the line educators, and they're always sharing their ideas, their brains, what they're doing in that current trade, how to manage it. And, what's really important is, understanding when to get in, but even more importantly is when to get out, right? Taking your profits. So they will walk us through that. And I put in my faith and my trust into this system to literally follow it. And literally, I think anybody can do this, right? Even if you're 9 years old, I think you can read a number and you could, enter a number and push a button on your phone. Literally anybody can do that, right? Like, I know really old people, I know really young people, all in the in-betweens who do this and create another stream of wealth for themselves. So guys, that's basically your first steps into the academy. Next things first is reach out and ask, right? There's never ever a dumb question, right? We're all here to support each other. You reach out and we'll help guide you, right? We'll help point you in that direction. And, on top of that, we also give out some of my other ideas, how to create, what we never really touched base in, which, maybe for another day is, even dividend paying cryptos where, you can have, just by holding the crypto, you're getting rewarded for just holding it.
Huge, yep.
It's like your savings account right now. I think the average savings account, like the highest rate in there is like 1.2% a year. Right? It's just crazy. Right? And that's good for some people. Right? Well, imagine if you could do 20% a year or 80% a year for just holding a certain crypto. Right? Well, there is those options, right? So, so it's just really getting plugged in with the right education, getting plugged in with a team, and then of course, just taking massive action. I love the topic with simply stop thinking and just do it, because we can get so overwhelmed, so caught up with, having to become the expert, but why become the expert when you can leverage experts, right? Why do you need to be the expert today when, there's money on the line right now, right? If you wait one more month, you're not going to have the same position as you do right now, right? If you wait 3 more months, you're going to miss out. You're going to be like, wow, I wish I bought Bitcoin at 30 cents or at $100. It's going to be that same story over and over again. And I think people live in this paradigm, in this place all the time where they keep saying the same story over and over again of why they've missed out, why they can't take action, why they don't have enough money, why they don't do this, right? And you could say that over and over again, but, the only thing that's going to change is, only thing that's constant is change. And if we're scared of it, I don't know what to tell you, right? You're going to get older. You're going to be 2 years older from now, right? Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm 25. By this time next year, I'm going to be a millionaire. All right. Will I hit or not? I don't know. Right. But I made a decision and a choice. I'm going to do that. Right. I could choose and not do anything. And I could, by next year, I'll just be 26. Next year, I'll just be 27. Right. But we all have control of our own choices. Right. It's our decision and you're in full control and you hold all the money. We don't touch it. It's in your control, right? So that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. We'll be wrapping up this 5-day series tomorrow. Gonna push the time a little bit earlier, I believe at 2:30. I'll be going live at 2:30. Got some little festivities and stuff planned, so we're still gonna show up. We're gonna make it happen. Tomorrow's topic is gonna be great because we'll be talking about how to copy and paste profits, how to, utilize the systems and the tools and really get a better perspective of what's on the insides and what are those first steps. And then on top of that, just a final wrap up, recap of the week. And then of course, this content is all going to be posted onto YouTube eventually, and it'll be all catered for a later date. This is great because it's also there for, hey, you just got started. You need to understand about cryptos. Well, here's the replay of this series that we made, and go and listen to it, right? So it's there for that training as well. So guys, super stoked for the future of this team, this organization, the Freedom Finders. Guys, the goal here is, I got it written on the board here. I'm so happy and grateful now that we've helped 1,000 freedom finders go full time. All right, guys, that's creating multiple streams of income. That could be any route that you saw this week and taking that full time. That is the goal here, and it is already done. And after that, what does that mean? It's going to be 10,000. It's going to be 20,000 because, guys, there's so many people out there that are stuck and they don't have, they have so much potential, but they just don't know how to unlock it, right? And there's so many people that deserve to live a life that they desire and they just don't, right? So we want to change that stat. We want to turn the world so that way it's not just 5% of people that live a life that they desire, but it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's go create that freedom today, guys. So that's being said, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Catch up with these things.
All right, guys, let's go.
Thanks for the birthday wishes. And yeah, Jeff said in the chats here, feel free to reach out to him as well if you guys need any help. He's always there. He's a servant. So thanks, Gino. Thanks, Jeff.
Patient. I'm very patient. So yeah.
Yeah, you've learned well, man.
All right, yeah. You guys take care. Have a good night.
Thanks for everyone tuning in.